Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. Imagine that you are a Democrat at the moment. You wouldn't be very happy. The news is currently dominated by Joe Biden pardoning his son, Hunter Biden. Why in the world would Joe Biden pardon his son? You may be wondering. Well, that's a great question because Joe Biden said for a long time that he would not pardon his son, Hunter Biden. But Joe Biden, as we know, along with all the other Democrats and the mainstream media, do one thing very, very good: lie. They love gaslighting, living hell out of everyone. But now, guess what? It turns out that Trump and everyone that's on the realm of sanity and reason and rationale have won one for a chance because even though we've been winning a lot and it looks like some reason and sanity is being restored to the US and some corruption is being like weeded out at the moment, the deep state under the new FBI director Patel are scared. I would be too if you'd been doing so many corrupt things for a long time. You can't get away with it now, people. The deep state and Patel are, well, Patel is the deep state's worst nightmare. Same with all the other FBI agents that are doing some really crazy, ridiculous things. But that's another story for another time, ladies and gentlemen. But we know for a fact that Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, the Democrats are very good at lying. And this comes as a very big shock to the mainstream media because they can't possibly imagine Joe Biden lying because they've been saying for the longest time, well, Joe Biden doesn't lie. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, we can't actually spin this one. How are we going to spin the fact that Joe Biden said that he wasn't going to pardon his son, but he actually pardoned his son? Gee, what are we going to do now? We're screwed. We're just going to have to roll with this one and say, this is a bad decision from a outgoing president. He's played into Trump's hands, all those wonderful stories. But you're seeing the massive meltdown from the Democrats once again, and you'd love to see it. But a lot of Democrats are actually angry and frustrated that Joe Biden would pardon his son, Hunter, because for many years, Joe Biden would claim to be the victim in this. He would say that nobody's above the law, and that includes Trump. Nobody, right? Except when you are Joe Biden yourself and you decide to make yourself the law in order to pardon your own son from things that he's done wrong. And by the way, this pardon isn't just for his gun crime that he was convicted for. This happens to be a pardon for everything. What has Hunter Biden done to deserve a pardon aside from being the son of Joe Biden, the president? Absolutely nothing. It just seems like these presidential pardons are being handed out willy-nilly. There's so many people that are in jail that have done nothing wrong, and they could have used the presidential pardon that actually deserve it. But who gets a presidential pardon? You may be wondering. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, Joe Biden's son, Hunter Biden, who's an absolute stuff-up. And, well, the Hunter Biden laptop was a real story, by the way, and all those people that signed off saying that it was Russian disinformation and misinformation, they should be going to prison. And by the way, the FBI, the new FBI director, will make sure of that. Mark my words. Justice is coming, people, with a vengeance. And I can't wait to see it. But I would have thought that if President Trump were to pardon Hunter Biden, that would make things a lot better. That would help, heal a political divide, because here is someone that shouldn't have to pardon the outgoing president's son, but he does anyway. Does he deserve it? No, he doesn't. But I think Trump, on the other hand, he actually showing the US people that it's not about politics. It's about doing what's right, doing like healing America. I think that's what's doing what's right, not pardoning Hunter Biden. He just seems to be like a sacrificial lamb at the moment. Sacrificial lamb, I should say, not lamp. But anyway, so here is the massive firestorm that has resulted in Joe Biden pardoning his son, Chris Jaleza, whatever his name is, who's a Democrat. A colossal selfish decision that will allow every Trump supporter to note that Democrats say one thing and do another. Yeah, you've been saying one thing and doing another thing and lying about it and gaslighting everybody for a very long time, man. So we've known this for a long time, and it's just like pure evidence now. Joe Biden has just gone a big F you to everybody in the Democratic Party and says, I don't care what you think. I'm going to do it anyway because I'm outgoing. I don't care about my legacy anymore. I don't care if you call me a liar because I'm the president of the United freaking States, man. Screw you all. I won't have my son in prison. Why would I want that when I'm going out? See yous. Here's a presidential pardon. And I'll just say a couple of words that feel good and tickle the ears for people, right? So here's Nate Silver. The White House consistently lied about this. Biden's stubborn insistence on running for re-election was perhaps the singular most important factor in Trump 2.0. And now he's kicking salt in the wound of the party brand he helped to destroy. The Democrats. You love to see them eat their own. Jared Poles. By the way, my real name's Jared. In case you guys are wondering, go by Jay. But anyway, I don't think this is how you spell Jared. But nevertheless, that's another story for another time. I won't be salty about it. While as a father, I certainly understand that President Joe Biden natural desire to help his son by pardoning him, I am disappointed that he put his family ahead of the country. This is a bad precedent that could be abused by later presidents, meaning Trump, and will sadly tarnish his reputation. Not that he already hadn't done that before, but it's just made it even worse, right? When you become president, your role is pater familias of the nation. You're supposed to be the father of the nation, people. Don't forget that. Hunter brought the legal trouble he faced on himself. One thing we can actually agree with, mate. And one can sympathize with his struggles while also acknowledging that no one is above the law, not a president and not a president's son. Unless you are Joe Biden, by the way, who decides to make the law for himself. Joe Walsh, this is utter bullshit. Just plain wrong and stupidly selfish. Shame on you, POTUS. You've given Trump license now to dole out favors to his family and wealthy friends. And when he does, you've given his supporters the opportunity to say, everyone does it. And by the way, Joe Biden, you lied. Well, yeah, hello. We know you've lied for a very long time. Riley Gaines said, when he said no one is above the law, what he really meant to say was, no one is above the law unless it's my son or the millions of immigrants entering the country illegally. Yeah, indeed, right? Cat Turd goes, told ya, never a doubt. No, never a doubt at all. And here is someone on, I believe it is MSNBC, surprisingly. It's Joe Walsh, by the way. This is Joe Walsh blasting the Democrats or blasting Joe Biden for pardoning his son, Hunter Biden. Have a watch. This is actually glorious stuff, people.
See, I told you so. They're all like that. So the next time any of us complain about anything Trump does, this pardon is just deflating. For those of us who have been out there for a few years now yelling about what a unique threat Donald Trump is, for Joe Biden to do something like this, Trump, nobody's above the law, we've been screaming. Well, Joe Biden just made clear his son Hunter is above the law. Donald Trump lies every time he opens his mouth, we've been screaming. Joe Biden repeatedly lied about this. The politicization of the justice system, Donald Trump and his people have been screaming. Well, that's exactly what Biden said here.
Joe, is this a politics of purity? I mean, we had Donald Trump pardon Sheriff Joe Arpaio during his term, and there wasn't a lot of hue and cry about that. I mean, this is a father who saw his first wife killed, his daughter killed in a car crash, his two young sons survive. One goes on to have real difficulties with addiction. Another dies because of cancer. This is a family that's really troubled. I mean, yes, he said he wasn't going to do this, but did anyone ever believe that that was the case? I mean, I would have put good money on this happening. Like, are many people going to be surprised that a father who is also the president would do this for his son?
I don't know that people will be surprised, because you're right. Joe Biden repeatedly said he wouldn't do this. So he repeatedly lied. But this just furthers the cynicism that people have about politics. And that cynicism strengthens Trump, because Trump can just say, I'm not a unique threat. Everybody does this. If I do something for my kid, my son-in-law, whatever, look, Joe Biden does the same thing. I get it, but this was a selfish move by Biden, which politically only strengthens Trump. It's just deflating.
I think Joe Walsh hit the nail on the head several times. And then you had the news host try and, as best as she possibly could, spin it around. But, mate, you're done. Joe Biden just made a clear statement that not even the mainstream media are able to twist, because it's on record that he said he wasn't going to pardon his son. It's shown a dangerous precedent now that the president's son and the president are literally above the law, and that's a dangerous thing. And the mainstream media can't really do anything about it, because when you're dealing with the law, you're screwed. You can't play around with the law with your news feed, mate. Not even I would be very surprised. I would be very surprised if I see the woke left actually try to spin this and make this a positive story. Aside from the one we've already heard many times, is a father's love for his son. Yeah, right. Okay. So here is what Joe Biden said. Today, I signed a pardon for my son, Hunter. From the day I took office, we all know that's a great way to start a sentence, right? I said I would not interfere with the Justice Department's decision-making, but yet you did. And I kept my word, even as I have watched my son being selectively and unfairly prosecuted. No, you haven't kept your word, mate. That's just another downright lie. Because if you did keep your word, you wouldn't interfere and you wouldn't pardon your son. Without aggravating factors like use in a crime, multiple purchases, or buying a weapon as a straw purchaser, people are almost never brought to trial on felony charges solely for how they filled out a gun form. Those who are late paying their taxes because of serious addictions but paid them back subsequently with interest and penalties are typically given non-criminal resolutions. It is clear that Hunter was treated differently. Gee, I wonder why that is. Does that sound rather familiar, people? Could it be that Joe Biden and his Democrat Party weaponized justice system against another political opponent? Could that be the case? Oh, wow. Okay, this is politically motivated, people, because of Hunter Biden. The charges in this case came about only after several of my political opponents in Congress instigated them to attack me and oppose my election. Someone seems a bit salty. Then a carefully negotiated plea deal agreed to by the Department of Justice unraveled in the courtroom, with a number of my political opponents in Congress taking credit for bringing political pressure on the process. Had the plea deal held, it would have been a fair, reasonable resolution of Hunter's case. No reasonable person who looks at the facts of Hunter's case can reach any other conclusion that Hunter was singled out only because he is my son. Nah. Have a look at his laptop, mate. And that is wrong. Oh, so you're admitting that going after political opponents is wrong. Well, that's interesting. Now you're admitting it. There has been an effort to break Hunter, who has been 5.5 years sober. How did the cocaine enter into the White House if he's 5.5 years sober? I wonder why. I wonder how. Even in the face of unrelenting attacks and selective prosecution, in trying to break Hunter, they've tried to break me. And there's no reason to believe it will stop here. Enough is enough. Yeah, it's one thing we can actually agree on. Joe Biden is enough is enough. See you later, sucker. For my entire career, I have followed a simple principle. Just tell the American people the truth. Well, mate, you failed on that big time. They'll be fair-minded. Here's the truth. I believe in the justice system, but I have wrestled with this. I also believe raw politics has infected this process, and it led to a miscarriage of justice. Those are some fancy words there, but anyway, I don't think it did, but that's Joe Biden's opinion. And once I made this decision this weekend, there was no sense in denying it further or delaying it further. I hope Americans will understand why a father and a president would come to this decision. Well, personally, I think it was a bad decision. That's just an Australian looking on. And I think all the other Americans, even your own people from the Democratic Party, can see that it was a bad decision. So well done, Joe Biden. Well done. Excellent job. I'm sure Trump is going to be very, very happy all the same. Anyway, that's enough from me. You guys take care. You be blessed, and I'll see you all in the next video.